Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you recall, I've been espousing the virtues of Quentin Tarantino's degeneracy, how his mental health has slid into what could only be described as a dangerous lunacy. And I had a guy make a funny comment about me being insane, and I get it. I don't not get it. But the reality is that I am telling the truth, and the entire industry is aware that they have known that he has been trying to exercise his clairvoyance to compel me to suicide. And this is a hallmark of the sickest evil that anyone can imagine. And so I'm making this video now because I do now genuinely feel that at the very least, his wife, Daniela, is in danger. And I think that there is a real possibility of him having all of those women tied up in his house, and he's like walking around with a gun, like torturing them, because he knows he has to either let them come to me, right, and go to a prison cell, or kill himself, or kill all of them and then kill himself. That he's pushed it so far that now I'm making allegations that him and Brad Pitt committed upwards of 16 felonies to keep control over these girls. And it's really upsetting to me, like how disgustingly evil that industry is. That literally everyone in that industry, every single woman in that industry, all say, oh well, Quentin Tarantino's got a script. Oh well, Quentin decides who gets to violate all these girls in these bondage scenes, right? The girls have no say. Right? And so I contend that is in fact criminal behavior. That is in fact conspiracy to commit rape, and rape in the first degree, if Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino penetrated them on the set. And they did. They both did. And so I'm making this video now because I am genuinely afraid for these girls, you know? Like it's always been about the girls, you know, it's always been about the girls. And I know, I get the argument, this guy must be a creep or a horse's ass, right? As far as the girls, right? This is the most beautiful women in the world, you know? Mikey Madison, Sydney Sweeney, Margaret Qualley, Ellie Fanning, Maya Hawke, right? The Manson family, right? But I contend that he does have, in fact, a sick, sadistic, psychic possession over them, right? And when I wrote and blasted that movie theater with a savage divinity they'd never known, they said, oh, we like him. This is the one. This is the only one. Knowing that Quentin had written a bunch of fucked up scenes and likely had intentions on forcing whomever, Brad Pitt, to penetrate them in those moments. Right? And so they stood up for themselves for the first time, and said, no, we don't like Brad. We like Brian. You can make your fucked up movie. You can do the movie, but we want him to do the scenes. Right? And he's descended into this palpable degeneracy, committing 16 felonies. I'm not exaggerating on that number. Right? So that's solicitation of a bioweapon, right, which is a federal felony. 5 counts of conspiracy to commit rape in the first degree, and 10 counts of rape in the first degree. Right? So that's 5 girls, 2 men, raping every single one of them. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Not only did they rape them, they bound them to where they were immobile. Gagged, something in their mouth so they can't scream. Blinded so they can't see. Closed set, everybody get out. I'll let you all think about something that's perhaps more fucked up than that. Right? And so these girls, seeing the scenes for what they were, they said, oh no, we like Brian. Right? And so now I contend that while Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino were raping them, they were also yelling at them, saying, where's Brian? Is Brian protecting you? Sick, evil. No, they need to be put away, right? 16 felonies, right? This is not, right? This ain't Captain Slap-a-Ho. He didn't hit one woman right? But now that I'm calling him out, he is beating these women. He is raping these women constantly, right? Because I've exerted my dominion upon them, right? And said, no, I suspect that you use these women, right, to try to cast a sick black magic spell. And so I take all of them under my control, or we all get on a polygraph and everyone goes to prison. I don't give a fuck about those bitches, right? But I do worry about them. That's my point, right? That I suspect that he is at such a state of dangerous lunacy that he is on the verge of murdering all of them and then blowing his head off because he's so sick in his mind, he cannot accept in any way the thought of them calling me master. Which they do. I own all of them spiritually, forever. It's done. By his design, not by mine, but it's done. So, I make this video to express my lamentations. Like, I really hope all those beautiful women don't die in unfortunate circumstances. I hope I don't get murdered in unfortunate circumstances. That we're all, this is why we're so close, you get it? Because we're all under the thumb of him. Right? And it went like opposite. Like Quentin, like when he made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he turned all those girls on. And that was the same time that he was getting married, isn't it? Daniela Pick's so goddamn fine. Right? And so he gave him a little taste and like showed him like, oh, the spiritual mystery. And then he just, bam, put a clamp on him, you know? Torture, control, iron grip. I possess you completely. Sick, degenerate, evil. Right? And so that's been the baseline that whole time. 8 years, 10 years. Right? Till I wrote. And so the real evil of it all is that I contend that all of those girls, in fact, pleaded with the entire industry. They pleaded with all their agents, pleaded with the studios, pleaded with the producers, all of them. They said, no, we like Brian, like he doesn't want to play Quentin's mind games. And that means something to us because we're going to be vulnerable in those scenes. And every single one of them dismissed them. Right? And it's a real goddamn shame, isn't it? So we're speaking truth to power, right? Quentin Tarantino is a degenerate loser. He's not a cool guy. He tortures and controls all of these women in an effort to exercise some sort of power over the world. And it's finally caught up with him. And I'm not stopping until he either murders me or he's behind bars or dead. Or I'm dead. But I said that. Anyway. Right? This is the game. These are the rules. Right? So, let me know what you think. God bless.